As we move into this new module, I want to give you a little bit of an introduction to a world, to a cultural world in which the individual does not exist. My goal here is to help you experience something that sharply contrasts with what we take for granted in the United States. This module is called Japanese Perspectives, and we subtitle it, Be Sure You Suffer Enough. Suffering turns out to be a crucial part of both engineering work and personal development in this cultural world that we're going to be describing. Can you imagine a world in which the image of the individual does not exist? For us, the concept of individual is opposed to the concept of the group. Only the individual and the group exist, and the group is conceived as a collection of individuals. Now, I challenge you to put those images away and practice. Try imagining a world in which the images that challenge people don't include the individual in that sense, nor the group in that sense as a collection of individuals. We're going to be talking a whole lot about position. Position, indeed, in a household. A key concept for us is going to be the household. Position in a household becomes a main means for defining persons, including engineers. Big issues then that we're going to be facing as we explore the challenges that engineers face are built around such words as obligation. We talk about people, and specifically engineers, as occupying positions that carry with them obligations. People challenged by Japanese cultural images live in a mass of obligations. Living in this web of obligations, the word acceptance becomes important, and respect. Gaining acceptance is a demonstration, an indication that one is fulfilling one's obligations that come with one's position. Feeling the respect of one's colleagues is evidence that one is somehow fulfilling one's obligations. The loss of acceptance, the loss of respect, becomes a profoundly significant event, a profoundly significant change that suggests that one is not fulfilling one's position, and hence one must take any one of a number of steps from rectifying the problem that caused the lack of acceptance to excising oneself from the group. The feelings of, or when one is fulfilling one's obligation and gaining acceptance, what comes with this is a strong sense of satisfaction and sense of fulfillment. But if you're not fulfilling the obligations, if you are and losing the acceptance of your colleagues, of your peers, a word that is often used to describe the waves of concern that come with this is the word shame. So we'll be talking some about the feelings of shame that one might have if one is not fulfilling one's obligation and hence not worthy of acceptance from one's peers. Now remember that we're talking here about dominant images. And indeed, one of the reasons for talking about culture and cultural meanings in terms of this concept of dominant images is to undermine or mess with a bit the American tendency to think about members of other cultures as all alike. All Japanese people are alike, or all members of a given culture are alike. That is indeed, as I outlined earlier, one of the implications of our concept of culture. Well, let me tell you, not all Japanese people are alike. There are all sorts of differences among Japanese people. From our point of view, what Japanese people share is the challenge of traditional dominant images. My approach to introducing you in a very thin and schematic way to Japanese experiences and images is through a combination of viewing a film that would give you some very specific vignettes and readings that provide mountains of details. details through stories, and hopefully with which you will connect. Stories with lots of details that provide pictures of differences. And my hope here is that by encountering lots of different differences, lots of a range of differences, so some of these will stick and these will become important markers for you. So that is why the readings then are popular readings written for engineers about life in Japan, about working in Japan. We will go through this module through basically 4 different categories of information, or 4 different categories of material. The first being a quick survey of what it's like to be an engineer in Japan. The second, a quick, very schematic introduction to cultural history of Japan to help you get a sense of Japanese anxieties. Third, and perhaps most important and most interesting from my point of view, is an introduction to personhood in Japan. And I give a quick, again, schematic introduction to what it means to be a mature adult in terms of Japanese images. And finally, we talk a little bit about Japanese morality. How is it, for example, that the religions of Christianity, the religious philosophy of Buddhism, and the kind of cultural philosophy of Shintoism could just coexist in a Japanese environment in a way that didn't require people to choose? What's going on there?